Welcome everybody, Farm Sim Snowy here. So in this video we're going to have a look at bees. I'm going to show you how you place them down. They're pretty easy to maintain, you don't have to feed them or anything like that. I'll go through all that in a minute. And first of all, if we go down to here into the help menu, just scroll down to animals, to the types, and we'll go down to the bottom where the little description about the beehives are. It says there, place your beehives next to fields and you will soon be living in the land of milk and honey, as the bees will increase the yield of canola, sunflower and potato. So what we are going to do in this video is go through obviously putting down, placing the bees where you can get the beehives from. But I want to do a little test to see if they do actually improve the yield of your field. So I've prepared this field here. We are up at where you start in New Farmer on Elm Creek. We're at field 46. It needed ploughing, it needed liming. So if we go there with the field info, I've done both those chores, so that is ready to go. I'm going to plant canola in there. I'm going to double fertilise it, so I'm going to lease a seeder that can fertilise, and then when I'm allowed to I will fertilise the second stage. I'll bring you back in when it's ready to harvest and show you again with the field info that I've double fertilised, we're good to go. And then we'll see how much we get off that field of canola without bees. Then I will place a beehive as close as I can to the field, and then we'll go through the whole process again and see what the amount is off of the field of canola after that, if that makes sense. It kind of does in my head. What I've done, just to show you as well, I've changed a few of the settings, or turned off a few of the settings, just in case it might affect our outcome. So I've turned seasonal growth off. I've kept it on one day, it doesn't really make a difference. That was always off for me anyway. I've turned snow off. I've turned, just for simplicity, crop destruction off. I've left the ploughing on. I'm not sure that would matter anyway for this test. I've turned the field stones off, so we shouldn't get those, and I've turned weeds off. So hopefully everything else is okay and shouldn't affect us. So I am going to get that job done. I'll bring you back in, like I say, when it's ready to harvest. I'll have to skip forward quite a few days or months. So I will see you a bit later. So we're back. Harvest is all ready. Canola is ready to harvest. As you can see, it's 100% fertilised. Obviously you saw that it was limed and ploughed, because if we go into this field, I haven't even touched this field, that needs liming and ploughing. So we're gonna crack on and harvest this field and see how much we get, and then start the process all over again. So what I'll do is I'll carry on with this, and I will see you when we're almost finished and see how much we've got in the harvester. Right, we're almost finished, just this last little bit left to pick up, and that should be it. So we have 3,138 litres of canola off of that field. Now I even overlapped to make sure that I was getting every bit, and obviously with crop destruction off, that would have helped a lot, because sometimes you can push into the crop and damage it slightly. So technically we should have got every single piece of canola off of that field. So 3,138 litres, I will write that down. What I'm going to do now is I saved the game at the ploughing and lime stage at the very start of the video. So bear with me, I'm going to jump back to that point, and then we'll set up the bees and we'll repeat the whole process again. So I'll see you in a bit, guys. Right, we're back for a bit of deja vu. So as you can see, bottom right, this field is ploughed and limed. It's ready to go. So let's actually take a look at the beehives now, which is what this video is all about. But obviously we are doing a bit of testing as well. So we need to go into this menu, which is like where all the vehicles and things are. If we go down to the 3 lines and go to construction, we want to scroll across the top to animals, come down, scroll across all the animal types until we get to bees, and then it's got all the beehives here. So as you can see, let's get round so you can see a bit better, like that. As you can see, some different types, all different sizes. So the first one is a 1 beehive, that's 1100, that's only 2 slots. Then we've got a 4 hive one for 4400, that's 2 slots as well. And we've got an elongated beehive, 6600, 2 slots again. We've got a 10 hive one for 12500, 2 slots again. And a 33 hive one, which is the largest one, that's 2 slots as well. So pretty low on the slot count as well. And the little description there on the bottom right hand corner says beehives produce honey. It will be placed at centralized location which has to be bought and placed separately. If you place beehives near fields, certain crops will also have a slightly increased yield, which is what we are trying to test. Right at the very end there, we've got this, which is the beehive honey pallet location, which you have to have next to your beehive, because basically the honey spawns on pallets into that area, and we will look at that as well as it happens, kind of thing. That's only 200 to buy, and that's only 1 slot, and it says there on the bottom right hand corner, location where honey generated by beehives is placed at as pallets. That's not very good English, I don't think, unless I'm reading it wrong. So again, this probably could be another test, but I'm not going to do it, because you could test, is the small beehive, you know, going to be less yield than the big beehive? But we're not going to do that. I just want to see if it does actually affect the yield. So hopefully the more bees you've got, the better yield it's going to be against, say, the small beehive. I don't know, but we're going to place one of these down. We do not want to place it there, that's for sure. So you can move them around. You've got the price there as well. So it's supposed to cost 19,000. So it's slightly more because the ground is obviously a bit uneven. Now the question is, how close do you have to have them? Obviously we don't want to go too close, because we're in danger of ruining our field. We want to have a fairly flat area as well. So I'm going to try and go something like that. I mean, that is pretty close, isn't it? I don't want to go too close in case it deforms the field. So if we try and go something like that, it's going to cost us another $22. Hopefully it won't change the terrain by the field. There we go. That looked like that worked pretty well. So we've got our bees. Now we need to put our honey pallet down. So if we click on that, we can then move that around. You can't quite see it there. Let's zoom in a little bit. It's a little... Why is that like that? It's not very visible, is it? So again, we need this quite near. So I probably think somewhere about that. Again, keep it away from the field. Like so. The terrain changed a little bit there, but not against our field. That all looks pretty good to go still. So let's quit out of that menu. Let's quickly go and have a look at our bees. Hopefully not getting stung in the process. So you can hear and see them coming out, which is pretty cool. And then we've got our pallet spawn area just there. Right. I will seed all this, put canola back in. double fertilise it again, and I'll see you back when we're ready to harvest and do the same process again. So I'll see you a bit later. It's me again. This deja vu thing's getting a bit ridiculous, I know. So this field, as you can see, 100% fertilised. So we're good to go. Let's just check the bees, because we have got a pallet full of honey, as you can see. Can we pick it up? No. Object too heavy. So when I did my test earlier on the chickens, it was letting me pick up a full pallet of eggs. So you'll need a pallet fork, front loader, skid steer, anything like that with pallet forks to move them to sell them. So in terms of selling, if we go onto this menu, I'm already there. If you scroll down to honey, it gives you a list of 3 places where you can take them and the prices, like so. But if you own the cereal factory as a production chain, you can take it there to further it on down the chain, produce cereal, and then you can see the jump up in price there, because then you can go and sell your cereal at Grocer Walmart for 5,103. So that's quite a big jump from there to there. So there you go. That's how you can sell your honey to get rid of. Right, let's crack on with this test. I'll do the same. I'll harvest this. I'll bring you back in when we are almost done, and we'll see what happens. So we're on the last strip. If you remember rightly, it was 3,138 off of the test without the bees. We've gone past that. And there you go. We're done. 3,213. So not a huge amount of difference, but it did make a difference. And again, it could be all down to, I mean, surely you can't get much closer than that without ruining your field. That's my theory anyway. But it did make a difference. Not a huge difference. 3,213 against 3,138 without the bees. So there you go. End of test. That is all about bees and just checking whether they do make a difference. So I hope you have all enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you have, please give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.